Hello and welcome to both parties. My name is Susanna Izagiri and I will be your mediator today. I am pleased to be here and assist you in working through your issues and believe that you both will find the mediation process very helpful. If any of you have a special need during the session, please let me know now or at any time during the session. So I would like to begin with explaining that mediation is a voluntary process in which a neutral, impartial person assists parties who want to generate options for resolving their issues. So are both parties here voluntarily? Great. So my role as a mediator is to facilitate and discuss and negotiate and help you capture any agreement into appropriate settlement terms. Your attendance at this mediation does not imply any admission of guilt or wrongdoing. If you would like to take a break, meet with me privately, or in the mediation, please let me know and we'll address those matters at that time. My goal is to assist each one of you in communicating clearly with one another, reaching a mutually acceptable settlement at this matter. I am not here to represent any particular side and will not provide any advice or guidance. You are entitled to seek representation and subject matter experts that can be called to provide information if necessary. I have no power to impose on a decision or on you to decide how this matter should be settled. This is where mediation differs from other forms of dispute resolution. You are empowered with the ability to design your own solution that meets your needs and addresses your interest. I would like to ask both parties, did each of you receive a letter outlining what you can expect in this mediation session and asking you to verify that you're willing to accept the opportunity to participate? So I ask that each of you sign the agreements to participate in good faith. Participating in good faith means that you are both acting, that you are both entering, with an open mind, and you will both be respectful of the other person and that you will listen to one another. So asking both parties, are y'all here in good faith? Good. So before I discuss the mediation process, are there any questions about what I've covered so far? Great. So let's begin and let me explain the process that we will use. When I complete the preliminary remarks, each of you will have an uninterrupted period of time to explain what brought you to the session and describe the problem as you see it. It is customary for the party that brought the matter to our attention to begin first. Once they have completed their opening remarks, I will ask the other party to make their uninterrupted statement. So let's abide by the rules of common courtesy and avoid interrupting or using foul language. After you have both given an overview, we will transition into a joint discussion where we can more fully discuss the nature of the workplace dispute as well as the negotiate possible solutions to resolve it. I ask that each of you will be thinking of how might this matter be resolved. At this point, I may meet with each of you separately. So this process is called a caucus or individual meeting. I will use the caucus to help clarify some concerns I have as we talk and be more of assistant in helping you resolve your dispute. Either of you may call a caucus as well if you feel like you would like to share something in confidence. Remember, both of you are in control of the outcome of this mediation. We may use the caucus any number of times. If I caucus with one party, I will also caucus with the other party. So please just be aware of that. This information you shared during the caucus is also confidential and will not be shared during joint discussion unless you've given me specifically given me consent to disclose. So going to confidentiality, it's a critical part of this process. Generally, if you tell me something in private and ask me to keep it confidential, I am bound by law not to disclose this information voluntarily. There are some exceptions to this rule, but I do not expect them to arise during this mediation. So, for example, if you confess to an alleged commission of criminal offense, or to an act of fraud, waste, abuse, I may be required to share this information with appropriate authorities. You will see me taking notes during this session, which are just for me to organize my thoughts. I have provided both of you, with papers to take notes as well. I encourage you to record any notes that you have on paper. At the end of this session, I will shred my notes as well as the notes you have taken today. Again, I just want to remind both parties that this is not a legal proceeding. Should you desire at a later time to pursue this matter in a court or administrative system, this session will not delay or interfere with your right to do so. I, however, will not be willing to testify for or against either of you regarding the information unique to this session if you decide to pursue this matter formally. If a judge determines that disclosure of our private confidential discussions is necessary to prevent injustice, establish a violation of law, or to prevent harm to public health or safety, I may be required by court to disclose our private discussions. Both the mediation agreement and the resulting settling agreement, if any, are not confidential. If an agreement is reached, it will be written and signed by the both of you. Each of you will be provided with a copy of the agreement when it becomes a legally binding document after the necessary approvals are granted. Both parties, do you understand the confidentiality requirements, and will you follow these requirements? Great. So again, thank you for being here. Your presence today demonstrates your willingness and attempt to solve this problem. Would each of you like to suggest any rules for the session today? All I ask is that you sincerely agree to attempt to resolve this dispute, agree to treat one another with respect, by taking one at a time and avoiding the use of profanity, and also agree to consider all the suggestions made in regard to developing a realistic solution to this problem. Are there any other questions at this point? Thank you.